Good morning, guys. We're going to talk about this morning how AI is changing the landscape of small businesses. Stay tuned. This is an interesting one because Mark is on site at a real estate conference with over 5,000 real estate agents, and apparently this is all they've been talking about. But we're not going to talk just about real estate. We're going to talk about all business. Welcome. Good morning.
Hi. How are you?
Very good. I was just saying, apparently in the landscape of 5,000 real estate agents meeting for a conference, this is what they're talking about.
Well, you know what? I love hearing what's happening on stage, but I love even more hearing what's happening backstage. When we're talking in the crowds as an industry amongst each other, and the conversations that are out there different from year to year. And this year's been a lot of tech talk.
Yeah, right. So you're at the real estate conference called ARIC, and it predominantly, gathers real estate agents to speak about real estate. But it's interesting. You do get like prop tech firms popping up and all different people in the outside hall with their business, and a lot of that.
And captains of industry, like people that are they're across their industries and they're the best in their business. And I thought there'd be a lot more political talk, like about budgets and negative gearing and and that sort of stuff, but less than what I'd assumed there, and more what I didn't assume, which was conversations with people, was about how they're harnessing technology, like AI and things like that in their businesses. And that sort of I haven't had that in any other year over the last 5 years being here, and I think that's relatable to a lot of people in a lot of businesses.
Yeah, interesting. And who's the winners out of this? Are they trying to make it better for the customer experience? Are they trying to make it easier for themselves? Is it more efficiency? Where's the angles?
Look, I think the thing that people firmly, squarely have in their mind is that the customer wins. That's a definite thing. So it all ends with a face-to-face and a better consumer experience. So I think one of the guys was quoting speed. Speed, and this is like one of the biggest. And I don't want to sort of talk about the exact companies, but the biggest real estate company in the country, and they're not selling real estate. They're as in they're not salespeople. They're saying speed's the commodity. That's and how can the tech be used to develop that speed for the customer? That's really interesting talk. Speed.
And it's interesting. So we're going to try and hopefully make this relevant to all small businesses, because I think a lot of people can come on here and think, how does this work in my day-to-day life? But we, to give you some practical examples, as a small business, we are using this every day now, and we're kind of using it for tasks that we probably 12 months ago couldn't imagine we would use it for ourselves, because we were sending some of this stuff offshore, or it's just got so good now that it's too good not to do it yourself, as an example.
Yeah, so I think it was really interesting. Claude seems to be what people are talking about, and not ChatGPT, which was very, very, has changed wildly, because that was the biggest, greatest, fastest, coolest piece of kit, and now people are talking about Claude. Some of the I think one of the most common things that I was talking with people about is every employee in the business having an assistant called co-work. And then that co-work is pretty much doing all those things that you would normally do. So it basically replicates your keystrokes on a keyboard on a computer, and does so it can have the ability of just watching you do something very basic on your computer, keystrokes wise, and then you say, okay, can you do that now? And it'll actually log into the website. It'll click those keystrokes. It'll identify. So As an example, we have a development where we've got 37 properties advertised on our website for rent and for sale, and we have an open
Yep.
house every day through Monday through to Saturday. Now, normally a support person, the sales rep or me would go to the sales, would go to support and say, hey, I need you to check that all those times are correct on all of those properties. I don't even know how many properties we've got advertised. Now, you can actually ask Claude to go in to your website, check all those properties, check all those times. Then you can say, okay, can you please log into our CRM? And the ones that are missing the times, can you please add them yourself? Now, there's hours of work there. And then you can say, can you do that every Monday? And then Claude Co-work will go in. So I think that's sort of the probably speed to service. That's probably the hand to mouth. That's probably the next thing we're going to be doing with AI.
Yeah, I love that. It's just about the efficiencies of it, making the work more enjoyable, and ultimately freeing up the human element to then go and sit with more humans. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't hear people worried about losing their job over this. They're excited by the prospect of having more time to sit with clients, do what they do.
Yeah, and it's sort of, it seems like it's everyone wins. Do you know what I mean? But it's happening so much faster. But certainly a big conference, like, because if you just tuned in, real estate agent, Northern Beaches, come to Queensland, going to the biggest real estate conference in the country, and over 5,000 real estate agents, 1,000 this year from New Zealand. And it's the biggest one ever held. It's the second biggest in the world real estate conference. And the word on the street seems to be industry changing stuff. Not as much that budget, but more AI.
Yeah, interesting. Can I give you a few other examples we're using it for? I'll rattle them off. Copywriting, listing automation, marketing creatives, lead nurturing, virtual staging, which is really cool. So you can take an empty room and put some furniture in there. We used to have to send that offshore. Now you can do that for your clients. So it's, as an agent that's using it every day in the business, when we see like a rental listing or a sale listing and it's got empty photos or easily areas you could improve without cost, we're kind of going, oh no, that's such an easy one. You could be doing that for your client. There's loads more there as well, but yeah, there you go. Low hanging fruit.
Where's it going to go next? Where's it going to go next? And I think anyone who's not using it, I think there's, and this was a bit of chat with sort of the older guys in the rooms that I was chatting with. I think people that are not using it are really severe, are now starting to feel it because it's just making life now harder, because for the good agents out there, it's making life easier. And then the balance of the residual is it's making life harder. So I think a lot of people these days, like I was looking at my uncle a couple of days ago, and I was with him sort of for back-to-back overnight, 82 years of age, and operating an iPhone and doing selfies and doing videos at 82 years of age. I'm thinking, man, the world's changed. We're really the uptick of this sort of tech stuff that that would have never happened years ago. So I think people are really benefiting from it. That tech that are pushing themselves to use it, and I think if they're putting themselves in the corner saying nah, hurts.
Yep, it's not going anywhere. So there you go. Good little insight. That's what agents are talking about off stage.
Yeah, so RIC 2026, we're going into day 2. That was day 1 yesterday, the Sunday. Be interesting to see where the talk is today, but there you go, AI guys, and Claude seems to be the one over that Chat GPT it's stolen the relay torch very quickly. So it's still, but it's also taking money out of our pockets, isn't it? It's that subscription fee. I think it was 20, 30 bucks for ChatGPT, and now it's 20, 30 bucks for Claude a month. Well worth investment. But yeah, it's amazing that what we're spending our money on. It would have been hard to get that money out of a software product from me for just me. 5 years ago, and now it's like, yeah, of course, that's a great investment.
Yep. Thanks for coming on and sharing.
Thanks, Billy Bob. Take care. See you. Have a great day.
Have a
See
good
ya.
day. Enjoy.